Greetings, and welcome to A Year of Movies, a Planet Geek production. For this project, we are using the Ivan Walters reference book of 365 films to watch on the day they happened. Each day, we watch a movie associated with the date we are watching it on.
And as it is the 21st of August, we are going to be watching Ride with the Devil from 1999, directed by Ang Lee and starring Tobey Maguire. So to be fully honest, I did not know of the existence of this movie, which is kind of weird because at the time that this movie was released, it was quite an interesting cast, especially when you're adding a particular singer to the actual list of actors involved with this movie. But again, even the poster didn't even look familiar until guessing this would be my first watch of this movie. And like I'd already mentioned, not only does Tobey Maguire star in this movie, but it also stars Skeet Ulrich, Jewel, Jeffrey Wright, Simon Baker, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, Jim Caviezel, and Tom Gurry. On the fringes of the Civil War, Missouri bushwhackers engage in guerrilla warfare with Union Jayhawkers. Bushwhacker Jake Waddell, played by Tobey Maguire, and Jack Childs, played by Skeet Ulrich, out to avenge the murder of Jack's father. They are joined by George Clyde, played by Simon Baker, and his former slave, played by Daniel, played by Jeffrey Wright. Hiding out in the winter, Jack has a short romance with a war widow, played by Jewel, before dying. Jake steps in to take care of her and her newborn before joining Quantrill's famous Kansas raid. So like I had mentioned earlier, this cast is something that I definitely should have known about, or at least perceived at the time of being something of a monumental gathering of these actors. We're dealing with a really well done movie. It looks more like a kind of a big time TV budget sort of look, even though it is a theatrically released movie, and is shot with theatrical events and all that sort of thing, but it has this kind of a like HBO sort of made for feel. But that being said, it's still quite entertaining. And again, everyone does fantastic with their roles. We're dealing with Southern slang and a lot of racial slurs, which are obviously common at the time that the movie takes place, but in the year it was made, it's kind of interesting to hear certain words and phrases coming out of certain actors' mouths in a casual manner. The one thing I really have to point out with this movie is the hair work in this movie is fantastic. The wigs and facial hair, whereas I can see facial hair being actually grown proper for this movie, there is a lot of very long-haired gentlemen in this, some of which at the time probably did have, but there are some that I can't picture having grown their hair to the extended lengths that they do, and it looks fantastic. Costume in this movie is really cool. There's a lot of really fun action sequences involving a lot of gunplay. There's tons of gunplay, and then there's cameos showing up left and right throughout this movie. Like, I did not see in the opening credits that a small scene has Mark Ruffalo in it, and it's just like 1999 Mark Ruffalo? Wow. So it is in the spring after the passing of Jack, again played by Skeet Ulrich. The remaining from what's left of the group of Jake, Tobey Maguire, George, played by Simon Baker, and Daniel, played by Jeffrey Wright, leave the shack they spent the winter in to join Quantrill's forces, William Quantrill being played by John Ailes. And that happens on the 21st of August, 1863, which is about an hour and 31 minutes into this 2-hour and 18-minute movie. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this particular episode and look off into the future to see what we're going to be watching for tomorrow. And that is for the 22nd of August, and that is Dog Day Afternoon from 1975. So until next time, go see a movie.